Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today. And today, the Kansas City Chiefs have released Isaiah Buggs, defensive lineman. And honestly, I believe this is the right choice by the Kansas City Chiefs. There are a lot of times you will see a NFL player, get arrested for something. And even though it might not be something good that NFL player has done, you know, sure, we've seen times where an NFL player gets arrested and the team, decides to let go of that said player. But I would say most of the time, if it's not too serious, most likely, it's definitely talked about. But I mean, I think there was one earlier this year with the Lions where they ended up cutting one of their players who got into some trouble. But most of the time, if an NFL player gets in trouble for something, it's not often you see that player get cut. But to get arrested twice in the last not even 2 months is definitely, I believe, for an NFL team, probably they see it as crossing the line. Maybe even once is seen as crossing the line. But I think getting arrested twice in 2 months is probably the deal breaker, and that's when Kansas City probably said, all right, that's enough. Get him out of here. And, look, Isaiah Buggs is a solid defensive lineman. I'm not trying to even, I'm not trying to disrespect him because he's a good football player. But this is not someone who's a big part of their team. This is someone who only played 10 games and only started in 3, only had 12 tackles. So this wasn't a hard decision, you would think. I mean, obviously, they don't want to, obviously you don't want to, let someone go while they're going through something potentially, but this wasn't a huge. This wasn't like the Kansas. I'm just gonna say it's not like the Chiefs were like thinking, oh my God, how will our team be affected with this loss? I mean, sure, he's a good defensive lineman, made some good plays, but that's it. But yeah, he was arrested in May for animal cruelty charges, and his agent issued a statement at that time saying that the player denies the allegations and that the dogs didn't belong to him. Then, now, a week ago, Isaiah Buggs was arrested on domestic violence burglary charge and booked into Tulsa County jail last week. And a reporter added on Monday that Buggs' bond was revoked and he's currently in jail. So, you got animal cruelty and burglary in 2 months, domestic violence and burglary in 2 months. So I think that's a deal breaker for an NFL team. Not even 2 months. So let me know your thoughts on the Chiefs letting go of Isaiah Buggs. I want to go over his look. I don't want to just talk about the man's legal issues. Let's talk football for a second. Let's go over what he's done in this past season and maybe just go over his career. This is someone who didn't even play hasn't even played for the Kansas City Chiefs yet. This is someone they acquired this offseason, signing him, bringing him in, and he played for the Detroit Lions the past 2 seasons, prior 3 seasons before that with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Buggs played 10 games and 3 starts with the Lions this past season. One pass deflected, 1 fumble recovery that was returned for 33 yards and 1 sack and 12 tackles with 2 tackles for loss. Like I said, he made a couple big plays. But he wasn't, a big part of that Lions team, or was not going to be a big part of the Chiefs team. I mean, yes, he had a fumble recovery and had a good return. Yes, he had a sack. He had 2 tackles for loss. Those are 3-4 big plays right there. Solid plays. And not a lot of playing time. So it's not bad. It's not like he's a bad player, but he's not a player who's playing a lot. He's not a player who's starting every game. 2022, though, in 2022 with Detroit, he was starting a little bit. 17 games, 13 starts. He had 2 passes deflected. He had 1 forced fumble, 1 sack, 46 tackles, no tackles for loss, 10 QB hits. It's really his best year of his career. Pittsburgh really didn't play that much. I mean, in 3 seasons with Pittsburgh, he played 29 games and only started 7. His final year in Pittsburgh, which is the last year of his career, I will go over. He played 10 games and 6 starts, which led him to go to the Detroit Lions and get a decent contract. He'd play 6 games with one pass deflected, 17 tackles, and 2 tackles for a loss. And starting 6 games, so he's not that bad of a defensive lineman. But the only reason why he's getting cut here is because of what has happened in the last 2 months. And honestly, he would have been a very nice back. I mean, the Chiefs have a monster defensive line group, so obviously he wouldn't be a starter for Kansas City. But he'd be a great backup, just like he's been for Detroit the last couple years for the Kansas City defense. And this would have been, honestly, I'm just gonna be quite honest. He pissed away a great chance here with Kansas City, because I think this would have been a good chance for him to, lift off his career. I mean, look, this is a guy who's still 5 years into his career. I mean, I know, obviously it's not like he's young, but there's still a chance for him to have a couple good seasons or two. And look, a defense or a team to do that with was the Kansas City Chiefs. So I really believe he pissed away a good opportunity to play with a great team and a great defense. And so unfortunate for him and unfortunate for the Kansas City Chiefs. But that's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and peace out.